Hello, everybody. Hello, Sapi here. I want to just talk about forgiveness. It's actually a good thing to forgive. You forgive a lot of people that you don't even know. You've hurt them, they've hurt you. And if you don't forgive them, you just have that wound in your own mind. The pain of the past, of the pain of what people have done to you in the past, is the mind trying to avoid those things happening again. And they're not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that when you have those things in your mind, you just say, okay, I know what it is. I'm going to try to make sure I don't fall into this kind of mistakes anymore. But there are some things you still got to develop threshold for. There are some things that are not the biggest things in the world. But there are some situations that you forgive and you distance yourself from some people if they continuously do the same thing, right? You love your neighbors, you love your friends, you love your enemies. But you don't want to be around your enemies. You got to give them distances. But there's some people that are not going to be your enemies. There's some things, simple things that are not the biggest things in the world. You know, some people that are just playing around, they just hit you a little bit or something. But if you're with your partner or your husband and your wife, there's some things that you forgive them, but you still have to move on. Because if your husband is abusing you physically, you don't want to stay in that kind of relationship. If your wife is abusing you physically, you don't want to stay, right? You can forgive them and tell them, I'm going to give you a threshold. I'm going to give you this kind of time. If I also hurt you, we got to try to work it out. But there are some things I'm always say, okay, it's not going to be the biggest deal. It's not everything you always have to put in your heart that somebody did to you. But there's some things that are really big deals that we got to work. Both of you have to sit down and work things out. So it depends on the kind of husband or the kind of wife you marry. And that's why you gotta always watch the kind of person that you want to marry or you want to get into a relationship, because relationship goes two ways. If the person you're with is not ready to improve, or you yourself you're not ready to improve, that is never going to go anywhere. So not just in relationships, just the ability to forgive people and the ability to let loose and just be calm with people, but still give them distances. If you see that they're kind of person like that, you could do something bad to me, I'll still later forgive you, but I still gotta give you some distance, because I don't want you to do the same nonsense you did again sometimes. But if it's some things that are not the biggest things in the world, I'll still be your friend. I still most likely always be everybody's friend, but some people are gonna have to. I gotta give them 9 feet distance. Anyways, life goes on. Keep making friends and keep giving your own distances and keep putting your own self-respect in the front in lots of instances. But you still always have to learn to forgive people, because your siblings, your husband, your wife, your anything can always harm you. Can always not harm you, sorry. Can always offend you. Anyway, Sapi in the building.